So, everybody read the sign? It said it's going to be loud, very loud. I'm trying to figure out whether we were loud, very loud, very, very loud. I think it depends. How loud were we? Just right. Okay. So I think the whole library heard us. If they didn't, I'm wondering about the quiet room back there. All right, so we're Yume Daiko. Yume Daiko is we're a Japanese drum group. Just to explain the name, Yume means dream, Daiko or Daiko means drums. So we're dreaming about that. We dream about drumming all the time. Whew. Yeah. So today we're here to perform some songs for you, but I'm also here to talk about some history of the drums, some of the culture, some construction of the drums, and things like that. And also, if you folks have any questions, we will be more than happy. I'd love it if you have questions. I'm not so nervous. We haven't had anything, up until now, we haven't really had any too crazy questions. But that's a challenge. Yeah. Crazy question. Let's see what we can do with it. So, what's that?
Have you ever broken that drum?
This drum? Yes. Yes. Now, when I say broken, break the drum, see, good question. It'll lead to construction of the drums, I guess. The heads of the drums are all made with cowhide. It's actual cowhide. It's not a synthetic material. If it was a synthetic material, it has a life to it. It doesn't last forever. So when they do eventually wear out, they break, then we replace them. If a little, you guys want to turn this drum so it's coming this way? I'll let them do a little bit of the work. If you can see the color in the center is different, that's because that's what they hit. So after a while, that starts to wear out. It eventually gets thinner and thinner, and then it'll go through. When that happens, so depending on the level of the rip, the tear, the hole, we'll still play it. But eventually, also these will, there have been ones, this one here, CJ, can you bring that one out, please? So, it hasn't worn through, we don't have a hole in it, but this thing is probably 20 years old in terms of the head life. Some last longer, I can't see it. We have a couple drums at home that need reheading. This is one that tore all the way through. And we go to the holes, we stitch the patch on there, which lasted about 5 minutes. We stitched it on there and we pulled it really tight and put glue on there. 5 minutes. So there's a lot of force that goes into these. And some people, when they do the drums, some people are concerned that they're going to break the drums. They don't. Just play it. There's nothing you can do that will break the drum if the drum isn't ready to go. So let's bring out the same one we do. Why don't you go ahead and bring that one out? It's not the biggest one. Or you know what? Roll out the one behind it. We'll look at that one. That one's a little bit different one. So this big drum is the type that you can loosen and tighten. These are not. These are your traditional Japanese drums, Miya Daiko or Nagabo Daiko, long body drum. And what they do is they form the head around it. And these little things are called mimi, which are kind of pretty, fun looking. Those are very, very functional when you're heading the drum. What they'll do is they'll put bars of metal through there, and then you'll do a rope configuration, kind of like this. You see on this big drum, this will be wet. You'll tighten the heck out of it, it'll dry, and then you'll nail it with these tacks. So, to go rehead it, I had to pull all the tacks out. These are the tacks. All right, okay, well, I'll pass 2 around. So, remember I'm passing 2 around, so I can just use that. You pass them around, take a look at them. They kind of look like big carpet tacks. Now, you see the ones that are in here? Wow, that's a lot of tacks. That would get you about 1 row about this way far around. I think this size drum, that's probably 200 tacks. So once this is tightened up, these are tacked in, then you can loosen the ropes. This dries, and it's ready to go. And it will ping a freshly beheaded drum. It's done well. Will ping like a metal drum, like you're hitting a metal can. So you have to kind of wear it in, break it in, if you will. These other ones, this type of drum, can somebody bring it over? That one right there is fine. Bring that one up front. This is called an okido, which kind of means barrel body. So it looks like, what I didn't mention about this one is that the body of the drum is one piece of wood. So imagine you take a tree, cut it down, and then you cut off, everybody's seen probably, unfortunately recently, you've seen some trees come down and they cut them off and you have a section. We'll take that, pour out the center of it, they've got a drum body. That's it.
How thick is it?
This one, I don't know. But the one that we did pull the head off of, the thickest spot is probably about this thick. Thinnest spot maybe here. There is, I don't have one more, well actually, that one back there, bring that one up front. That is not one piece of wood. This is actually a barrel. So it staves. And these staves are thicker. Alright, then when you get to one like this is a lighter wood, and it's thinner. The staves are thinner. So you get a lighter sound. These types, we loosen them every time we're done practicing performing, we loosen them. So that will extend the life of the head by loosening. These are constantly tight, so they are breaking. If we were some of the full-blown professional groups, they'll like have drums that are for performing, and those are the drums that are in beat on for maybe an half year, so they've been broken in. And then once they have drums that are starting to wear out, those will be the practice drums, and they'll kind of rotate them. New fresh ones, got to practice them then, break them in, then they're performance drums, then they go to the practice drums. At some point. Alright, that's a little bit about them. Take about one more question and I guess we can do a song. Well, you're here to hear drums, right? Yeah. Not me talk, right? Nobody really wants to hear me talk, right? Trick question. Yes? Okay. She asked, so I'll tell you what. Should we do another song? Real quick, and then I will talk. That is a long discussion. Remind me. All right, what do we want to do? Kai, pick one.
Issei.
Issei? Okay, we're going to do Issei. Yeah, Issei. Attack's still running around. Did you get to see Attack? See, if I don't get those tacks back, the drum is going to be all, it'll be a whole thing. It'll be a whole thing. Okay, he's good. All right. So I'll let them. While they're getting ready, it's going to take a few minutes here. Japanese drums, I will start. I will give you a little bit of a tidbit. Japanese drums have been around for probably 2,000 years. So there's a long history to it. This type of drumming, which I'm way ahead, this type of drumming as an ensemble, as a performance, is only about, I'm doing math, about 70 years old. So out of 2,000 years, this is only 7 years. And when we come back, we're done with this song, and I'm out of breath with it, I'll explain to you everything in between. So somebody had asked me a question. I said I would talk about it. I just can't remember what I was talking about. Somebody was supposed to remind me. Thank you. All right, so the Japanese drums have been around for 2,000 years. There is some evidence that they were used in war battles, to scare the enemy. But mostly what they were used for is in shrines and temples for different festivals and different rituals, and or different local areas and festivals, and some communication. That was their primary use for a whole bunch of years. It really wasn't until about the early 50s, I don't remember the Japanese man's name, but he ended up founding one of the first Taiko ensemble groups. What happened was he was asked to transcribe some Japanese drum rhythms from different local localities that were not in what we would know as sheet music notation. They were in Japanese, whatever, and a lot of it's different from Western sheet music notation. A lot of different areas it was different. When he was doing that, he realized, hey, wouldn't it be neat to, instead of, because a lot of these festivals and stuff, it was one or two or three drums all playing the same rhythm. He thought, wouldn't it be neat to have a whole bunch of different drums all playing different things and kind of mesh and make some new songs. So that's really how it kind of started. So in the 60s is when it really started to pick up. On into the 70s, one of the more, you may or may not have heard of Kodo or Onde Koza. They're the ones that kind of started bringing it out of Japan. Onde Koza, they formed and then kind of split off, became Onde Koza and Kodo. You hear more about Kodo nowadays than Onde Koza, but the idea was that the original founder of Onde Koza wanted everybody in the group to be able to run marathons. Because it's very physical, they wanted them to be able to handle performing for an hour or two without any trouble. So they ran marathons. Their debut in the US was all the members ran the Boston Marathon. As soon as they crossed the finish line, they got on the stage and they were all they did it. One of our members today is going to go run around the building for an hour. Do I have any volunteers? No, we're not going to do that. But that's the dedication that they have. And there's a lot of groups like that. When they go to the court, that's their life. That's all they do. Also, in the Tokyo Olympics, which was, I think, 1972, in the 70s, during the opening ceremonies, they introduced Daiko. And all of a sudden in Japan, Japan had they were into learning in all the local areas, they were into learning cultures, but they were mostly studying American culture, and especially music, they were studying classical music, we did. Somebody went, you know what? Our music is good too. So all of a sudden, in the 80s and 90s, a whole bunch of Japanese drum groups formed in Japan, and then some of them came over to the United States. California was a place where San Jose Daiko and San Francisco Taiko formed, and there are big groups that are, now there's Taiko groups everywhere. So that's the origin. So again, the way we're performing it like this is relatively new. Yes?
What about the sort of the form, the technique, like the poses and
Yeah.
proportions?
Uh-huh.
Is that date back order, or is that?
Good question. Got that, James. Got that. They're going to get another song ready. So, these songs that we're doing, the first one we did, Wash Up, is based on one of the local rhythms, folk rhythms they did on an island, Miyake Island, which is, if you're Japan, just going to go shoot straight south from there. It's a small island in the Pacific Ocean. They did a lot of logging there. Wow. Can you imagine a bunch of loggers going through the woods with carrying logs and stuff, all Washoe is not necessarily particular to them. I was in Japan for quite a while. I was in a festival where we played around the boat and everybody yelled Washoe. So, that overhead. There. So, you see the body position? That's probably, in our repertoire, the hardest physically to do. Because you are down here, you're using your legs, your back needs to be straight, and your arms full motion. To me, that's the hardest one. So, this is probably the next hardest. This is another one that comes from Japanese. Saitama Prefecture, Chichibu is it's a small town where they have a festival where they have these huge floats that are very tall, very narrow, and the drummers are inside of there, and each level is fairly shallow. So they are down. You see how the drums are right now. Kai, why don't you go ahead and jump down and get into position? You can get back up there. So that's how he's going to play. Okay. And you'll get an idea. Like, well, that doesn't hurt you, Dad. You just sit down. You can get back up there. Or are you just going to stay there? Guy, you can lay down if you want for a moment. So, what's that? Okay. So yeah, some of the songs we do are based on that first one I talked about, and then this one are based on folk rhythms from a certain area of Japan. The second one we did, the group that I was in Japan, we put that together on some stuff that we found and kind of created our own thing. So, yeah. Hope that answers your question. It's very physical. This is very physical no matter what position you go. Everybody gets a workout. Is everybody here sweating so far? I am. Yeah. So it's a good workout. The problem is when you're done, you're really hungry. You probably end up eating more calories than you burn all day. So, any other questions? Yes.
Is this music reflected at all in Japanese pop culture or counterculture?
Sometimes, yeah. Japanese, yeah, there's a lot of crossover now. There's a lot of crossover here. Anybody familiar with Battlestar Galactica? So when I say Battlestar Galactica, are we talking 1970s J or late 1990s J? Or both? Okay. Let's see a show of hands. Who knows the newer one? Okay, a few. The soundtrack in there, all that music they're playing, those drums, it's a lot of time. So you wouldn't expect it. When I first started watching that show, I was kind of like, that's techno. So there's a lot of that music. The Cleveland Orchestra, just about every year they borrow one or two of our drums. The big one was Lord of the Rings. And they did Lord of the Rings at Blossom. You know, when they showed the movie and then play the soundtrack, they were playing this drum and that drum. It's kind of neat to see where it was being played. It's usually during the evil bad parts. All right, one more question, and then we're gonna do this on. Yes, sir.
How did this go in the kitchen?
How did
this go in the kitchen?
How did it catch me?
Yeah, how did it catch you?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll make this. We'll make this a long answer, and it's his fault. All right. So I'll introduce everybody here. First of all, my name's Matt Richards. I lived in Japan for 18 years. 1996, yeah, was when I started doing it. The first time I ever saw the drums was probably '89. I was first there at a Rome festival. I saw the drum. I think I may have played it. Then when I moved to the town that I was in for 15 years, they had a local group. I saw Kodo perform, came and performed. I saw the local group perform. And then part of my job was to coordinate a sister city project for the place in Michigan. In '96, we took our local group to Michigan. And part of the deal was when I approached them, they said, well, you need to join the group. And I'm like, okay. So that's how I started. So that's what, 30 years? 30 years. Next, I'll introduce my son. That's Kai. Say hi, Kai. He was born in '96, so he was pretty much born doing drugs. He popped out, we had sticks for him. Let me next introduce Kristen. She's been the next longest member of the group. Well, how did you get started?
You played at my friend's wedding, who was in the group, and then she asked if I wanted to join. I'm like, sure.
Yep. All right, Otsko.
Hi.
Otsko just joined last year, almost
1 year.
a little over a year ago, just over a year ago. Why did you want to join?
I love drums.
She loved drums. Hey, Dawn?
Yeah, my nephew took a Japanese drumming class in college, and I saw it and it looked fun, so it is.
Elizabeth?
I saw Kodo probably in the late 80s, maybe,
Late
and
80s?
yeah, I was just enchanted. And when I found out about this, it was
Thomas?
We visited Japan about 2 years ago. Took a quick Daiko workshop and came back here to the Screw Factory. And a friend of ours who's an artist said, you know, Matt Richards down the hall, he's got a Daiko group. I said, really? In Cleveland. So I've been with the group for about a year.
Allie?
I lived in Japan for 6 years, and I got to play a little bit of Taiko at a local festival. And then I've been in the group for about a year because I just found out about it through Facebook.
And so, as when I was on a surgical vet tech and the was her dog's order clinic, and when she escaped from the room, she ran to cancer vinegar, and she came up and noticed that I had one or two Japanese tattoos and asked me if I was in Japan. Never drummed, and I've been a drummer since I was 10, so, and she told me I should stop by and live my man.
Yep. And he does very good. He does very well. All right. Yep. So that's all. Everybody's got kind of, it's a little bit different. Yeah. So, all right. I said that was the last question. All right. We're going to do another song. why now you may understand why it's physically like that. One of our American members a number of years ago, nickname was, we call it Yatai Bash. They were called it Gutbuster. Oh, yeah, it's a tough one. Kai and Kristen did a very good job. Yep. All right. Anybody have any questions? Yes.
How much would the big drum cost?
Cost? I know how much it costs. You got it. This was actually made in the U.S. The body of the drum is actually, believe it or not, it's kind of a cardboard fiber spool, so it's not actual wood. So that's saved on cost. Everything else is the traditional way it's done. This drum was $6,000. If it was done the traditional way in Japan, it would probably be at least, my guess is probably 3 times the cost. Yeah, they're not cheap. That's why, remember I pointed out the one that's made stays. That one, this was cheaper, much cheaper. But to be honest, it's having issues. This one was made in Japan. It is staves, so it was less expensive, but still was not cheap. Drums are not. There is a cost associated. I shouldn't tell you that we have it before. Now, we won't be loading the drums for later outside. I'll tell you there. Yeah. So, yes, I mean, they are precious drums. With that in mind, whenever we're asked to perform, we've been asked to perform in the libraries. We've been asked to perform here, there, and everywhere. Little spaces, big spaces. We have outside, inside. We have only one hard and fast rule, and that is the drums can't be played. If we are asked to perform outside, we're not sure, but if it rains, or if there's anything we get from the knots, that's it, we're done. The drums need to be protected. It's a balance between the safety of our members and the safety of our drums. Obviously, our safety. But you get the point. These instruments are very precious stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Do you record your own?
The second song we did, again, that was kind of pulled together, so that was done. I was involved in creating that song. There is one that is original to our group. We're not doing this. Yeah. The newest, let's see, Kristen and Kai and myself, we, for the most part, know all the songs. Everybody else has been in the group for this year. They know 4 or 5 songs, which is incredible. But that's one that they don't know. But yeah, it takes a while to learn. I mean, some of these ones you can pick up very quickly. Some of them take a little more. Some of the songs are, let me think. There's one we're doing a little bit has a bass rhythm that just kind of gets repeated over. When you stop, do some solos and stuff like that. That one's easy for people to learn right away. There's other ones, we'll do that one too, where the whole thing is just a whole bunch of one long thing. That takes longer. So, yeah. Yes? How often we practice? Not enough. We've been doing pretty good at going 3 hours a week. So, which if you think about that, for them to learn all these songs and in that year they haven't practiced every week. Like over Christmas and stuff, it probably was a month and a half maybe where we were off. We didn't do anything. So everybody's into it, so let's go. Just like he's into One Piece. Yes, that's what yeah. Kai, you can get together with him later and talk about One Piece. My son loves, he's a huge fan. Any questions? Yes?
To what extent, if any, are rituals or animism involved with drums?
I didn't quite.
Rituals. Animism. So are the
rituals?
Names, are there ways to approach the drum, or are you just playing?
Oh, I see what you're saying. In the way we're play. There's not, no, we're fairly informal, so there's no real ritual way, but there is a way there's a way I teach them to play drum. It's not necessarily a ritual, but there's a style. And some of it has, the one thing about Japanese drums is, if you guys are not looking at us, I wouldn't care what we look like. We could just play the song, you can hear, there's a wall in between us, but part of what it is how it looks, which is why this song here looks really cool. We can play that standing up, but it looks really, really cool in that, so it's how you look. So one of the first things they learn is a very basic way of thinking. I'm going to point out somebody, and hopefully I won't embarrass him, but Thomas Riette. Thomas has been a professional Western drummer for like 40 some years. Yeah. He's my problem child. And when I say that with a grain of salt. I say that with a grain of salt. He has ingrained, I can see it, and I've seen it before, is he knows a whole heck of a lot more about drumming than me, but I know Japanese drumming. And the way I can see the way he's hitting sometimes. And this happens with other people that have done percussion, see they do a little bit of percussion. So what I'm trying to do with them is teach them this way. So there's really no any kind of rituals involved in how we're playing, but there is a way that I want them so that when we're performing, it all looks good. Okay. Yes? Yes. You know what? I was talking about different styles of drums and I didn't get to all of them. So you guys want to bring out some poduncles and some uchios, please? And I was talking about this type of drum. You saw me carrying it over my shoulder during the last talk. This is very light, so I can walk around with it and play. So, Thomas also has this on this too. So, this is what we call Uchiwa Daiko. Uchiwa means fan. So, out of too. So, while they're playing, not really. But it's the same kind of cowhide wrapped around tightly around a ring. So go ahead and hit it. This, because it don't have the body of the drum, is not going to, I mean, in here it sounds, you probably heard the difference, but it's almost like, well, I don't know how much of a difference was it. It is. It's a difference because you don't have that body to give you some oomph to it. Then there's one more type, this is called a podanku, which is kind of from Okinawa music, and that's another one where you can just hold it. So it has a little bit different sound. But these are helps and you can walk around and play. They can walk around and play while we're doing it. So why don't we go ahead and do this one? We'll do what you want. So we're going to get ready for the next song. So while we're doing that, we have any more. Nobody's giving me any questions. These hands are right up. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Hey, how do you dial the two when they're wet, when you put the skins on? What do you use to dial them in? So you got to do, you guys run it all right?
There's no relation. We like that little one that was really kind of flat. That one was kind of we don't tune it because we're not doing any melodies or anything. So we don't worry about that so much. Any other questions?
Just how often do you guys play out?
Perform?
And how far away do you go?
Furthest we've gone, this group has gone to Pennsylvania, in Michigan. Mostly we perform around here. This is our third week in a row performing. We actually had to turn down 3 requests. We got hit all of a sudden, like within these last couple months of the abortion requests. Unreal. So, it really depends. There's also, we don't have, we'll have one in Akron. It's not for the festival down there, we'll be in Daiko. And then we don't have anything until August. So it really just year by year changes. We probably perform 6-7 times a year. Okay. All right. Let's go. Geeky. Geeky, and then our last step. Yeah, 2 more. So here's your chance to ask some questions while they're getting ready. It's going to take them, I guess, 38.5 seconds. Yes, sir.
Hey, what is the song that, you guys heard the song, how they use the drums? They used to use to clear out the evil spirit out of the villages. I can't think of the name of what it's called.
There's probably a whole bunch of those.
I just figured you might.
Well, we've been trying, but obviously it's not working. No, not as far as. So you know, my okay. One of you also did it. There's probably some local I think. I know there are rituals like the holiday in February where they throw meat at the people's spirit. But that's not necessarily one. Every time you get meat, throw it in. Yes, sir.
What's the difference between Daiko and Daiko?
Yes.
One level.
Oh, yeah. There's a difference. Yes, there's a difference. It's more intimate. So when I talk about these, this is a Daiko, this is a Daiko. But when I put it together with the name of our group, we make a Daiko. Get that, the top, sound, top, and stuff. That's all. Yes.
Did you ever see the shave and a haircut bit happen in a performance in Japan?
Probably.
Okay.
That's probably where we started doing it. Maybe. That was not the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the first rule of Taekwondo? Don't let him see you that's all. It happens. It happens. That happens. All right. Yes, sir.
What got you into this style of drawing?
Hold on. Is that
What got you into this style of drawing?
when I was in Japan? I've been in Japan here for a while. Yeah, you probably missed the very beginning.
I did.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
We heard it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll really quickly. I lived in Japan for a while. While I was over there in the town I was living in, Kodo came to town. I saw them, and then there was a local group, and then I took them over to our sister city in Michigan. And when I did, they said, "You need to join the group," and I said, "Okay, no problem." And that's 96 is when it says. I've been doing it for 30 years. Yeah.
Do you guys ever have dancers?
Ever have dancers?
Do people dance to this? I love footwork. I love
Yes. No. Taiko in general, sometimes there are, that is included. With us, not typically. But my daughter, who's not here today, she went to Mercyhurst for ballet. So at Mercyhurst, for me, it was dance. And the 4 years, their capstone project is they do a performance, and each senior has to come up with a 10-minute number that they choreographed, designed, put the music for, all of that. You're already smiling, you know what's going to happen. Maya and I were talking about this in Kai from year 1. So her dance was done to our playing by this presented a whole bunch of problems. The main one is, when we goof up, we goof up. But when you have dancers that are counting, literally counting on you, and I say that metaphorically, literally counting, and we goof up a count. So what we did was, Maya and Kai and I kind of came up with what we were going to put together the number, what we're using, what we're doing. And then we picked Kristen, everybody else wasn't. This was like 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Emma? 3? Doesn't matter. We're not talking about the passage of time. Anyway, in Jan, we came up with this, and then we figured out, Christian, myself, May, Sam, so it was like 5 of us, 6 of us. Anyway, and then that's all we practiced from January till we did it in May. All we practiced. We did nothing else. Every practice, that 10-minute bit, over and over and over, so that it was ingrained. And we went up to her, we didn't practice with them. We recorded the music, we recorded her bit. Maya took it, she had the choreography done, and then sent back bits for us to look at. And then we went up and practiced with them 2 times before we then went up for the performance. It was awesome, but it was a lot of work. So yeah, that's the answer. The long answer to your question is, the short answer is yes.
Have you ever had improv dance? Like, I get that if someone was off time, like if they were improv dance and they would just adapt with you.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
But like if they had uniform or stuff, you could have like a trick or dance.
We have done the backbeats for karate demonstrations. We've also done long festivals for Japanese dance. They have a kind of a ritual dance they do for the August Long Festival. We've done that. That's just kind of a set rhythm you put, just a backbeat that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Last one, and then we're going to do the song.
Have women always been involved in your
In our group, yes. In Japanese drumming, yeah. That's all thing too. Traditionally, it was men that played. There is a town next to the one I lived in. They have a drum group on temple like ours, but it was based at a shrine that every year at a festival where women carried the drum through within the shrine grounds, but it was always women who carried it and played it. But typically it was men. But nowadays it doesn't happen. Who cares? Well, typically, when I joined the group in Japan, because we were going to the US, it was 3 adults, 1 guy, and then kids. The kids were all high school drummers, or any boys in the group. And that's how I started in the group and whatever. And I think I was in the group 6 months. They said, hey, we're going to have this dinner and drinking party, whatever, for the adults. I went there and there were people I never saw before. And I don't think these people were. One of the guys, very rough kind of martial arts type dojo sensei kind of guy, said, Matt, come sit with me. We must talk. I'm like, well, okay, I don't know who you are. All right, yeah. I sat with him. This is what he said to me. I'm not kidding you. He said, you must not drum with women. I said, what? What are you talking about? And I was like, first of all, I don't know who you are, and I've never seen you. So what are you talking about? I want to be careful how I talk. I don't care what age. I don't care. Male, female, doesn't matter. You want to play drums? You're in. Let's do it. Okay? And he was not necessarily, he wasn't being sexist, but he wasn't. He was just pointing out that it's different. I have seen Japanese drummers where there was professional women, they were playing very rough. It was kind of awful. It's like I feel everybody has their strengths no matter what. Atsuko plays a certain way, Kai plays a certain way, I play a certain way. So to me it doesn't matter. But there was a time to be had. So interesting question. Okay, I said that was the last one. Somebody else put your hand. All right, go ahead and get ready for the last one. Got one more song to this that's coming up. So while we're getting ready, you probably a question on that angle, that's the one thing. But yes.
You know, wonderful arm strap. Does anybody want themselves on face?
So they did a study, and 75% of all drummers admit they whack themselves with a drumstick. The other 25% are liars. I think everybody who here has hit themselves with the sticks? Put your hands up. Who has not hit himself yet with sticks? Yes, I hit myself in the head. Skin was flying. Our favorite one was today. I watched it back here. And everything's running up there. Nobody ever gets to do this. I stick up flying in the air and landed right on the music. Yeah. Yes, happens. It happens. It's just part of it. I once was playing the style and slammed in here. And you know, the song, the skin was peeled back. And I love it. It happens. Yes.
Do you guys have any audio, like CDs recorded or records?
I wish we did, but no.
Have you
Yes.
considered it?
The problem with you can do it. The problem with what I always find with CDs, unless it's done super professionally, how do you duplicate this?
Right.
Because well, I don't know what you're feeling. I didn't talk about this. Because of the lines of the drum, the way the sound comes, you're hearing it. You should be feeling it. Coming through your body. And how are you going to do that in this way? This is for me the essence. I appreciate you asking, and that would be great. You know, you want to put us on repeat over and over again, we'll try it. But
Hey, I'm gonna say the zither that I found here. So I mean, there's world music.
what's that?
There's world music over there.
Yes.
I got zither from China.
Yeah,
and
there is a lot of you can get CDs from Kodo, one they call it KODO. They're awesome. We're on YouTube. We look up everything on YouTube. If you want to cover the US codes, you can follow us on Facebook and everything. Yeah, it's hard to duplicate that sound. Any other questions? We're almost ready to go. And you know what? When we're done, when it gets quiet again, we're all going to come up. We're going to put things away. You're happy where you're more than welcome to talk to members, talk to me, ask everybody questions. And all that good stuff. Yes.
So if they talk about whacking yourself with sticks, have you ever had a stick break in half? Because I've done that with Western drumsticks, but those are bad.
So, there was a survey done a few years ago. 75% of all drummers. Yeah, I think you just broke one today. 2 weeks ago, you broke one. Kai breaks them all the time, especially on the song. This is not just sticks breaking, this is them wearing out too. Because what will happen is you're doing some of these rim shots, that will start to damage your sticks. You don't want, the types of wood you're using. Some of these are oak, some of these are poplar. If a drum is made of, let's say something hard like oak or kinaki, which is a Japanese wood, you don't want to use an even harder wood because then you'll start damaging this. So you use a softer wood. You'd rather damage your sticks than the drum. So that's the way. I've had stick was flying out of my hand when I'm doing a solo on this. Whoops, and you're in trouble. Kai is very good at when a stick breaks and goes flying, of having replacement ones ready and going. He may, during this song, he may break a stick or drop a stick. He may or may not break a stick. Now you're already staring at Kai. What's happening with his sticks? Yeah, it's just, it happens. happens. Yeah. All right, are we ready to go? Okay. Let me get mine. Somebody unhappy because it's our last song?